Record. All right, whenever you're ready.
Let's continue here. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. So, okay. I think we're good. Okay, Tom Hanks once said, "A hero is somebody who voluntarily walks into the unknown." In life, everyone you come across is a hero because there's a fine line that only few will cross when it comes to giving up yourself for something bigger. We all are just ordinary people in this world, but some of us are set apart from the rest in times when it comes from us from being selfless to selfish. With that said, my hero is my mother, Mandy Frank, as she perfectly fits the description of a hero in my eyes. To be a hero, you have to have three qualities that are on display when adversity does not hit: patience, selflessness, and humility. Patience, the ability to tolerate or accept adversity without getting upset. No matter the circumstances, patience is always on full display throughout my mom's day. The most tedious things that aggravate me seem to never, ever affect her. I think with her job as being a third grade teacher here in Burke, patience is a skill you have to master. Without patience, there's no way being a teacher is the right job for you. Selflessness, concerns with the needs of others instead of your own. On August 6th of this year, a tornado went through our town and demolished the center of Burke, including the school here, the community center, the courthouse, and one of the biggest lumber yards in South Dakota. Not going to lie, there was a lot of selfish people on the days during cleanup that were flat out lazy and refused to help. It was getting their yards and houses back intact, and that was it. Through it all, my mom was setting up groups to go out and help clean up yards, the park, and the sporting complex. Now, with that said, my mom being a teacher, that is just one recent example of her selflessness. But I can promise you she'll do anything for anyone over herself on any given time on any day, whether it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning. Humility, quality of being humble or knowing one's importance. As a teacher, my mother knows that not all kids are as smart as others, but she doesn't let that define them or bring them down. She knows that each kid is special and unique in their own ways, and that is perfectly fine. Saying that, it's the same way here at our house. I have 3 siblings, and I'm the oldest of all of us. She knows each of us individually are important to the family, but shows no favoritism to any of us, no matter if we are at our highs or our lows during life, because we know she has our back. Without having patience, selfishness, or humility as a characteristic of yourself, I do not believe you have the capabilities of being a hero through my eyes. On a daily basis, we occasionally see the good that comes out in people, but there's a true difference between your average human and a hero. With that said, I leave you with some powerful words from Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
All right. Nice. Not bad. Better than mine's going to be.
I don't know about that, man.
Oh, I did mine, and then I'm worried I'm being too political. I'm doing a rant against climate deniers, so I'm sorry if I'm too political.
No, you're fine. I'm in government class, and I'm all up on the political stuff, especially with impeachment with Trump now and the whistleblowers and all that.
Government class will teach you how it's supposed to be run as opposed to how things are currently being run.
Exactly.
It teaches you that a lot of the things we do aren't actually law, and they're just more precedent that you don't actually have to follow. So, okay. I'm going to do, like I said, a rant on climate deniers. So, let me get situated here so I can see my notes. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to stumble through this one.
Yep.
All right. The world we know is getting warmer. Scientists across the world have agreed on this for decades. Everything we know and love can and most likely will be affected, from what we eat to where we live to the types of jobs we do. In our world, there are people who deny this this widely agreed upon fact. These people are climate deniers, and I do believe that they are a danger to society. First issue, we'll talk about climate deniers themselves. These are people that, when given years of scientific consensus and explanation, choose not to believe in a scientific fact. These are people that will use tiny bits of an argument to match their goals. For example, Senator James Inhofe is well remembered for bringing a snowball onto the Senate floor and asking, how can climate change be real if I have a snowball in my hand, if it snowed today? He's not the only person in power that is a climate denier. Another strong example would be the former head of the EPA, Scott Pruitt. He served from February 2017 to June of 2018. He was a oil company lobbyist, and he is quoted as saying that I would not agree that CO2 is a primary contributor to the global warming that we see. For example, he is not denying exactly that the climate is changing, he's just denying the reasons. He's choosing a small part to try and dissect a larger argument. Another example of that would be the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal, huge, ambitious, and it listed one of the main talking points was the effects of cow production and methane. The Green New Deal factored in all the variables, including transportation, feed, storage of these animals. Skeptics of the theory, skeptics of the plan, decided to concentrate all of that onto cow flatulence, saying that they simply don't want the cows to fart, honestly, and that is what's causing global warming, when that's truly just a tiny part of the argument. So, another argument, these types of arguments serve to distract from the main point and not to counter with new information. So, the next argument is that it's too late to do anything, and no one's helping out anyway, so why should we? A couple years back, we had the Paris Climate Agreement. It was completely voluntary, and but it was a landmark international deal. Every country agreed to do what they are willing and able to do. It was non-binding, so some people thought it didn't go far enough. America pulled out of this deal. America pulled out of this deal, claiming that other countries are not doing their fair share. If we had this mentality at any job, we'd be fired. If you had this mentality with your house, if your kitchen's set on fire, are you going to do nothing about it because it's already started and it might be too late? No. So my final point is that it's too expensive. What are we supposed to do? It's too expensive to change all of industry, all of commerce, and everything to fix a problem that many people don't believe is actually going to happen. But an article on Forbes that was published in May has claimed that infrastructure for renewables is now cheaper than that of conventional fuels. So it's still cheaper to plug into the coal plant. But moving forward, it is cheaper to move with renewables. So how can we afford to keep using outdated tech? With any new technology, it's going to be expensive at first, but go down. My first flip phone, for example, was $300. I just bought a smartphone with a high-def camera that can record slow-mo for $89. Technology gets cheaper over time. And is it really cheaper to do nothing? Ernest Rauch, the chief climatologist from Munich Re, which is a German reinsurer, has stated that rising natural disasters will cause them to raise the price of insurance, to raise their risk principal, which will make insurance unaffordable to most people, leaving most Americans, most people around the world, vulnerable to any sort of climate change with no protection. So, in conclusion, there's too much agreement, there's too much motivation to fix it, and there are too many financial positives to ignore climate change anymore. The world is getting warmer, whether or not you believe it.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a little jumbled. So
hey, no one's perfect. I mean, come on now.
Right.
I mean, everyone. You listen to you can listen to pros talk, and they still stumble sometimes. So I mean, I consider you a pro.
So, thank you, sir. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then.